Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to do a bit of a bonus read this morning, and halfway through the video clicked out, and it's such a good reading. I wanted to still be able to share it with you. So I'm going to try and recap and go over it. I did want to get on and talk to people about readings. I've had a lot of people inquiring about readings. You can go to my website at www.theaussiegoddess.com. Or you can go to my Facebook page where I do offer free readings and competitions, so the Aussie Goddess on Facebook. If you want to email me through the video, that's fine too. So whichever way you need to get to me is fine. You can have a YouTube video for a 15-minute, roughly 10 to 15-minute answers, but you have to be very direct in what you want there because it is a quick video. Now, what else can I tell you? If you're overseas, don't be worried. We can fit. I spoke to Malta the other day, so I can fit you in no matter where you are. It's just a matter of working out the timing. I've done a couple of readings in Las Vegas. There's lots of places all over Australia. So if you want a reading and you're not sure, then perhaps email me and just ask me how the timing can be and we can work something out. I do readings on weekends, however I only stick to one or two, and I try to do them in the morning so I have the rest of the day to do other stuff. Especially now with doing these readings for you guys, the star readings take me several hours. So so if you're interested in those, they're there too. The YouTube videos retail at around about $30 for Australian dollars, so they're not expensive, and I like them because I can give you very direct answers. So back to this reading. So when I started off this reading, this card came out first, which talks about the Nine of Pentacles, which talks about being independent, feeling like you're in your element, feeling very comfortable with who you are at the moment. You may have done a lot of work on yourself and you're feeling very at home in your element. The first card that came out was the Eight of Cups, which talked about moving away from stuff, moving away from something, looking for emotional fulfillment. And then we had the Ace of Cups come out, which was awesome. After the Ace of Cups, the Seven of Swords came out. And then we had the Ace of Wands. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. What a fantastic reading. We got the Empress coming out after that. I did a bit of a recap. We got the Seven of Swords. And then we had the King of Cups. So many of you dealing with a water sign. Although this just could be, and water signs being Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, this could also be someone who's just really mature in their emotions, not cold. Some people see some of these guys as being cold. I only see the King of Swords being a bit cold sometimes. The thing is with the King of Cups, he's learned to temper his emotions. So he's not an overly emotional man, but it doesn't mean he can't show emotion. Okay. So I was just about to do another recap and the video cut out for no reason. Like, why? So I'm still delivering this message. I'm defiant this morning. So what we have here is some of you have sort of reached a point where you're very, very comfortable with who you are. You've done the work. You're feeling very much, you're actually okay to be single. That's it. That's all it is. Now, if you're already in a relationship, you could be okay to be single within your relationship too. So quite independent, self-sufficient. You still love the person you're with, but you're comfortable being who you are. For other reasons, though, there seems to be this feeling that you're still missing something. So you still are in search of the one, the love that you really want. So you're still on your way looking for that. Now, the Seven of Swords came in here, and it was a funny energy to have here because the Ace of Wands came after it. So the Seven of Swords talks about, it's the Five of Swords. Oh, how interesting. Seven of Swords is here. So the Five of Swords here talks about, I'm doing the reading a different way, but the Five of Swords talks about winning a battle at the loss of other people. It talks about like an empty victory here. So I feel like this applies to the fact that you're single. It's sort of like you've worked really hard on yourself, but because you're sort of missing this vital element in your life, you're feeling like a bit that you haven't really won the battle. So the Empress came up here, and I just said to everybody, be careful at the moment. If you want to have a baby, great time, very fertile energy here. But if you don't, maybe take precautions, because the Seven of Swords is here, and then the King of Cups. So I feel like there's an energy here between this Empress and the King of Cups, some sort of unspoken thing in the middle here. It does imply with the Seven of Swords often that it's something deceitful and secretive between these two people. And if you could see how I'm seeing it, let's just see how the Empress, now this is you are in your nine of Pentacles place, and we see the Seven of Swords in the middle and the King of Cups here, and look how their expressions are. Like they're just sort of pondering and looking away from this Seven of Swords. You know what that says to me? These people love each other, but they're not telling each other. So this is someone you know here. Because look, see how they're sort of like looking away from each other and pondering? And there's this secret in the middle. So what this says to me is that there is someone in your life that you still have feelings for. And you're either holding back because you don't know how to approach them, or you're not telling them the truth. Okay, and then we have the Judgment. Well, that's bad luck, isn't it? Because the Judgment card is here. So this does talk about a second chance here, rebirth, restarting something new. That's pretty awesome. And then we have the Nine of Swords. So you must be really nervous about this. If you're feeling this way about someone and you want to approach them, I think here with this Judgment card, it's probably not the worst thing to do. At the front of the reading, we have the King of Wands. So I can tell you now what the universe is saying. You need to take more of the energy of the King of Wands. Be fiery and passionate. Move forward on this. You know, sometimes when I get readings like this, people do move forward, and of course it doesn't happen the way they want to. But at the end of the day, at least you can let that thing go then and move on to what you're supposed to have. Especially if you're in a position where you felt that you had a connection with someone and they don't feel the same way back again, which does happen. Or it can be that you feel that thing for someone, but they're not in the place to accept you back. And this is about here, about getting across this Seven of Swords and actually opening up and giving yourself an opportunity for a second chance here. So for some people, this is about expressing yourself. But what I want to say to you is don't go forward and do it unless you're really ready. You need to be ready in case the other person doesn't feel the same way, or you've got the wrong person. Maybe you thought they were your twin flame and they weren't. Or maybe you thought they were your soulmate and they weren't. They may have been there just to teach you some sort of lesson. So I think that if you're going to move on something because you love someone, it's causing you to sleepless nights here, then maybe you need to think about whether to take this chance and move on it. But if you're not ready, don't do it, please. Okay, how funny. And then I get the Three of Swords out. Very interesting. So for some of you, this will be something that doesn't eventuate for you. Could be they're not ready. Some people just aren't ready. They haven't woken up. They're not ready to leave the person they're with. Yeah, definitely moving forward on this. Oh, the Devil came up in reverse here. That's really nice. Okay. So what we're looking at here is for some of you, the other person is still working on their issues with the Devil here and the Ten of Swords. They're nearly finished too. And they are moving forward here. There's a brand new start for them. They're still in hermit mode, okay? They're still a little broken about whatever's happened here as well. So if you've had a relationship breakup with someone and you know that they're the right person for you, they're still doing that. If this person is unknown to you, you haven't met this person yet, in their energy, I would tell you that they are still going through heartbreak of their own here. This is about them unpacking what's happened to them. Some of you are supposed to be with someone that you're waiting for a third party energy to move. Okay, so the third party energy looks like it's probably done and they are ready to move on, but they're still in this hermit fool mode. They are putting it down though, because there's movement here. There's the Fool and then the Chariot, so definitely moving forward. Ten of Swords is about to finish. End of negative cycles for them. Moving into, the Devil was in upside down in between those two cards, so they've definitely coped with their dark side as well. So some of them are in the same place as you, some of them are a bit behind where you're at. But there's definitely love for you here between two people. So if you don't know that yet, they may not have told you. It could be somebody you haven't talked to, or somebody that you haven't actually met yet. So very, very interesting for you here. But definitely they're in the energy here of moving forward and getting rid of their dark side. I like it. Getting rid of the third party is the one, because so many of them have had a third party energy. So, and it, you know, we talk third party, but we don't necessarily mean another person. That can be another energy that they have in their life that they're unable to focus on what they want because they're so focused on that. So some people could have, you know, have children that they're worried about, relationships they're worried about. Oh, very interesting. So the card of Venus has come out, and it talks about the attraction and pleasure from and good times. So that's beautiful. So you've got Venus with you at the moment, and she's the planet of love. So there you go. So everything's firing the way it should. Everything's moving the way it should. Have a fantastic day knowing that.